All right.
The one and only, and thank goodness for that, but we love him, Mr. Randy.
Steeler
There he
Man!
is.
I don't have my cape and nylons on, so it feels not as, dramatic. But, when I have my cape and nylons on, it's beautiful. You love it.
Well, yeah, and
love it.
You're also missing your eyeshadow, too. But you look great. It's great to see you.
You as well,
Now,
brother.
your family history, the name, where the old country is, and how you Swiss.
Yeah, Tantlinger is a Swiss name. Mom's side of the family, we are from Donegal, Ireland.
Ooh.
Ireland. So I am a Hibernian now.
That's not
I didn't say librarian.
That right up.
I didn't say librarian. I said Hibernian. The ancient order of Hibernian.
So look, the reason I have you here is because you were headed to the game. Obviously, you're a Pitt alum.
Issue this subpoena.
Yes, we're going to talk about Accushore Stadium. Panthers are tailgating now with the official beer of the Pitt Panthers Icy Light. Steelers, of course, getting ready to take on the Giants. Always time to pump an iron. Available right here, Coons Market, Banksville, and McKnight Road. But I was talking to Bill Churpeck earlier today. We're talking about Billy Fraley, that era. And then I went, you basically did a little comment on Facebook, and I went, there's my Pitt guy. So you're just a little older than those guys.
Just a bit. I mean, Bill Churpeck, now becoming one of the greatest high school football coaches in Pennsylvania history. And if you look at the litany of high school coaches, especially down your way, Aliquippa, Beaver, Render, those guys, plus Bill Churpeck is just a great guy. But you look at what Billy's done on a high school level, but you go back, Bill comes in the fall of 86. You got Mark Stepnowski, goes on with the Cowboys. Mark's eventually going to go in the Hall of Fame. Nobody doubts that. You got Chirp, you got Tommy Ricketts, Dean Caliguire, I love. That whole offensive line under Mike Gottfried era. I was there just on the precipice, those Foge Fazio days. But it still harkens to, and the name I'm going to throw out here, the legend Joe Moore.
Yeah.
That you talk about, if for you folks who don't know who Coach Joe Moore is or was, you've heard of the Heisman Trophy. There's now the Joe Moore Trophy that's given to the best college offensive line. Coach Joe Moore coached at Pitt, Mount Lebanon, Notre Dame. And he is recognized as the greatest college football line coach of all time. I got to throw this in. So covering the Steelers at camp this year, I watched the offensive line every day. And I won't name the other reporter. He goes, what do you think, Tank? And I said, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, they're not doing this. And he goes, well, how do you know? And I go, because I know. And he goes, yeah, but how do you know? And I'm like, because I know. And he asked a third time, well, how do you know? And I go, because I learned under Joe Moore, started going to Pitt offensive line camps when I was in 8th grade. Joe Moore put 53 guys in the NFL, Robbie. 53, including Russ Grimm. Okay? When you put Russ Grimm in the NFL, and you put those, all those guys into the NFL, ghost walk through. It's Halloween.
That's okay. We just keep rolling.
Anyway, that's how I know. That's how I know when I'm looking at the Steelers' offensive line. If you want to sit here and talk about I'm sorry to seal your show.
That's okay.
If I hear one more person say that Broderick Jones is a bust, I'm going to lose it. He's not a bust. One, he's out of position. Number two, I like Pat Meyer, the offensive line coach of the Steelers. I do. I like him as a guy, but he's not qualified to coach your Pittsburgh Steelers line. Your turn now.
How about McCullough, what he did at center in that game?
Oh,
I mean, difference maker. And you got Frazier, the kid from West Virginia. When he gets healthy, he'll be back. I mean, so the
polar bear. You got to call him the polar bear.
Oh, I like that.
Zach Frazier, the polar bear, because when he wrestled down in West Virginia, whatever his high school, their nicknames were the Polar Bears. So I saw Zach at camp. He was at the Joe Moore camp.
Right.
I saw him at camp, and I go, "You're the polar bear from now on." He goes,
"You know what?"
He goes, "I like that."
Pittsburgh Zoo, baby.
Nice kid. I wouldn't want him angry at me.
No.
I watched his
He has no neck.
Yeah.
It just goes.
There's no mercy.
Chin to shoulder. We'll talk about the Steelers in just a bit. But Holstein, what has he meant to this football team, University of Pittsburgh?
To the program. I mean, this program has been up and down. You guys that are Pitt fans, you'll start screaming, they should have never fired Wannstedt. Wanny was taking them, and they fired him. Narduzzi comes in. He's had his ups and downs, his successes.
He's up now.
He's up now on the heels of his quarterback. This kid, young man, is poised. He is talented. He is young. This kid only has upside. He will be playing on Sundays. I'm not saying a starter. One interesting thing about Holstein. So he has a really bad game against Cal.
And they still won, which is a good sign.
Still won.
Defense.
The kid, Robbie, manned up. He was the first one into the press conference. He came in. He said, I had a bad game. I played horrible today. I'm much better than this. Thank goodness our defense carried us.
Right.
Huge maturity for him to man up and come in there. And I asked him in the press conference, I said, okay, you recognize you had a bad game. What do you do not to have another bad game, and why did you have a bad game? He didn't even hesitate, Rob. He goes, Cal was throwing coverages at me defensively I've never seen before. Never seen before. So they threw him off. He said, I learned today. I'm going back in the tape room. These are the things you want to hear from a young leader.
So how do you feel being a Pitt alum? I like the hire of Alan Green. Comes out of the SEC, obviously name, image, and likeness money. And one of the ways we're going to have to try to keep Holstein here. What do you think of him as the new AD?
Time will tell. Rule number 3 in life, you can tell me what you want. You can pretend to be what you want. Only time and your actions will tell me who and what you are. So, I guess that's old age wisdom, Robbie. Great fanfare, confetti, trumpets played, rock. The Pitt Panther came out, went woo, woo, woo. Only time will tell you. Now, if he pulls a Steve Peterson, then he's probably going to get run out of town on a rail, like we used to say. Do you know how much Peterson is loathed? You know who Peterson is, right?
I know him. I'm a fan, though.
You're a fan.
Right.
Why are you, Mr. Pratt, why are you a fan?
He
tore my stadium down. He tore my stadium down. How can you like Peterson?
That's one thing I will agree with. I miss Pitt Stadium, Cardiac Hill. We would actually probably have a cardiac arrest if we walked that hill.
This age, yeah.
All right. I want to talk about the Steelers now. Russell Wilson, I was worried about it, didn't want it, but now Coach Tomlin looks like he's the smartest guy in the room. One game doesn't make a season, but boy, what a difference maker. Slow start, but he finished fast and furious against the Jets.
You have to immediately go back to the tape in Denver last year and understand the Denver season. He had over 3,000 yards passing. That's pretty good. Had a bunch of touchdowns. And you look at the tape back in Denver, he's still mobile. He's still accurate. He's still dangerous despite his age. The reason a lot of people don't know this, why it went a bunk in Denver was not because of his talent. They came to him and they said, hey, Russ, we want you to take out your catastrophic injury clause from your contract. I call it the Joe Theismann contract, part of the clause.
The LT hit.
Throw up thinking about it.
I can't watch it.
So that would be akin to a guy working in a steel mill, working in a coal mine. His union does a CBA, collective bargaining agreement, and comes in and says, oh, by the way, thanks for signing that. That thing about where you guys, if you get your arm chopped off that says we're going to pay you and buy you a new wooden hand, we're going to take that out of the contract. What do you think would happen? They'd burn the town down, the steel mill down. So that's what happened with Denver. What you saw in the first part of the game, like you alluded to, was rust. I mean, you're talking professional football players. Anybody that thinks it's easy.
He hadn't played since Christmas Eve in a regular season game.
Yeah.
2023.
When that rust came off,
It was
so
pristine.
this is a get healthy game against the Giants. They're 2-5 coming in here for Monday night, where Tomlin's 20-3 on Monday nights.
Every week in that second hour, we pick our weekly winners against the spread. We go with Rivers Casino, betrivers.net. I'm going to let you play along at home with this week's games for week 8. But before we do some boxing, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, I'm trying, but I just can't buy into it. What do you make of this whole thing that's going to make a whole lot of money?
I'd buy into it for $9.99. For $9.99, I will watch Mike Tyson eat Jake Paul. I would watch.
Is it legit?
Look, if you're going to get hit in the head by Mike Tyson, it's legit.
But is he going to even need to hit this kid in the head? I mean, he's such a ferocious, and Jake's now pushing 200 pounds, not to say that he's not in great shape, and the guy can fight, but he's never been hit in a rib cage by Mike Tyson.
No. If you go all over Facebook and YouTube is Tyson training, it's real simple. If Jake Paul stays away from him and jabs him and taunts him, the old man's got to find him, and that might be a fight. If he's stupid enough to toe up,
that's bad.
He's going to get his ribs broke, and he's going to get his jaw broke. You don't lose, and for you guys that are older that do go to the gym, you don't lose your strength. I'm as strong as I ever was at 59.
Right.
You lose your cardio. You lose your flexibility, as you know.
Right.
But that old man, you know that. Don't mess with the old guy in the bar down there in Aliquippa. Who? Larry. Don't do it. You mean the old guy with the scars all over him?
Last thing, I'm all about these great inspirational movies about boxing, especially, somebody up there likes me, Rocky Graciano, real life stories, And there is a new one out called The Featherweight that I cannot wait to see, that I actually may pay some money to have it come into my home when it is now just in movie theaters alone, or maybe even I'll go to the movies and see it. I've always been a historian. I've always loved the game. No one does it better, especially Pittsburgh fighters. This guy's got a book out. It's incredible. His knowledge is unbelievable. But Willie Pep, over 200 fights. The movie's called The Featherweight. It's one of those, why would they make a movie about him? And for those of us who know boxing, and those of you in Hollywood who understand a good story, you get it. It's about time. This is going to be a must-see movie, not just for fight fans, but really just about people who love to watch people overcome. Talk about Willie Pep.
Oh, he's one of the toughest nails guy, and he's from that era when Pittsburgh had world champions.
Fritzy Zivik, Billy
right.
Conn,
So some great battles with Willie Pep between our Pittsburgh guys. But as Rob alluded to, just the Iron Man of boxing in his age, over 200 fights. And you ever see those old black and white photos? The guy's nose is over here and the blood's coming out of here and it's looking like this, That's the Willie Pep. And there's tons of pictures of Willie Pep like that. We talked about going toe to toe, right? That was Willie Pep as a featherweight. No, I can't wait to see it.
Did he ever fight Henry Armstrong?
Oh, I don't know. You would think Henry Armstrong.
Oh, come on.
Probably one of the most underrated fighters that people don't know about. And you know what the real claim there, Robbie, and I know you're a sports fan, when other guys who fought with you and in your era say Henry Armstrong, oh my God, there was nobody tougher. Mm-hmm. When you're compatriots, there's a big word. Look that one up, Cupcake.
I can't even spell it. All right, here we go. Time to pick your weekly winners against the spread, betrivers.net. Thursday night football, Minnesota against the Rams. Cooper Kupp could be on the trading block, might end up with the Steelers. That would be nice. Minnesota giving them 3. Who do you like?
I think Minnesota is a team. They're upset about losing on that last-minute field goal last week to the Lions, number 39. I'm going with the Vikings there, although Cooper Kupp ain't going nowhere. Do you think L.A. thinks, we got no shot to get back to the big game? They ain't not letting that kid walk out of there.
All right, Cleveland getting in.
Enough of bringing him. The nonsense. Ibukie's coming to Pittsburgh. Kupp's coming to Pittsburgh. They ain't coming here.
Cleveland getting in.
A.B. Brown's going to play.
With Jameson Winston at the quarterback because Watson.
Who, the crab thief? The crab leg thief.
He's done for the year with that Achilles. So Baltimore spotting Cleveland 8.5.
Cleveland, the Clowns.
It ain't going to happen. You're right.
Ain't gonna. They're going to be eaten by the Ravens.
Mason Rudolph. Medication will help this.
I told you in 1930 they would have taken me over to Western Psych, and here's a nice room for you.
Listen, though.
Make your bird sounds in there all you want.
They used to say the same thing to Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters, so you're my hero.
I would have loved them.
I loved them, too.
I think I'm their son.
That's why I have you here. Tennessee getting 11 against Detroit.
No.
Detroit the best team in the NFC right now?
No. Despite them beating the Vikings, I like the Vikings. So you got the Vikings, you got Detroit. Sure ain't the Giants coming to Pittsburgh.
All right, so who do you like again? Detroit. Spotting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Love Dan Campbell.
Not too many points. Okay.
Love Dan Campbell.
Tampa Bay getting 2.5 against Atlanta. Go ahead.
Tampa.
All right. Philadelphia getting 2 against Cincy.
That's going to be a battle, but I think your NFC team's going to come out on top there.
Indianapolis getting 5 against Houston. Has Houston come down to earth after last year?
Houston Oilers. Look for Stroud, especially if that's in Houston.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Jacksonville getting 4 against Green Bay.
That's just an ugly game waiting to happen, ain't it? That's an ugly game. I can't even pick that. That's just ugly.
I do love you. You're so good at this. You really are. Jacksonville, as we mentioned, getting 4 against Green Bay. Up next, it's Arizona getting 3.5 against Miami. Who do you like here? Tua is back.
First of all, that's a crime. Tua, that coach who's never played a down of football in Miami should be in jail for what happened 2 years ago when Tua got jacked, and he put him back in there a week or two later.
Tua said he wants to play. It's his body.
You can cut. Jack Youngblood played in the Super Bowl with a
Broken leg.
Broken leg. He duct taped it. You can't keep an athlete off a field. You can't. It's up to the people who love him and care for him. That kid who's the Miami Dolphins head coach has never played a down of football.
Right.
He doesn't know what it's like to get jacked up, let alone what a concussion really is. Shame on that kid for doing this.
Should Tua be even playing ever again at this point?
You have to let him. It's his decision. We still live in a country, at least for now, that's
too
free.
Early though.
Look, you know this about boxing. It may not be this punch. It may not be that punch. It may be this punch where that tissue in there disconnects and you are punch drunk the rest of your life. The modern term is CTE. I don't know where this ends for this kid.
All right, so who are you taking in that game?
Arizona.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's been playing pretty good football.
He is dangerous. If he may end up being a one-hit wonder one of these years. Maybe the Cardinals move some pieces, here
Marvin
and
Harrison
there.
Jr. is going to help too. All right, up next, New England getting 7 against the Jets. Jets season may be done.
Yeah, this is like the Super Bowl for both of them. Where is it? New York or Beantown?
Beantown.
I'm going with the Bean Eaters.
New Orleans getting 7 against the Chargers.
Ooh, where is it?
I don't know.
Let's say it's in New Orleans. I'm going with the Saints.
All right, let's go with Seattle getting 3 against Buffalo. Seattle is the host team.
The Sea Chickens.
Yeah.
I'm going with Buffalo. You know what? They're just kind of rusty right now. They're like, you know what? It was really cold in the all winter, and our brains are now finally thawed out. You can't discount Buffalo. When they start hitting their stride again and Allen starts throwing darts
and
again.
You got Cooper to throw the football to now, too. All right, we got Vegas getting 10 against Kansas City.
You know I love the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders all day long. I don't care if they're playing the youth team from St. Margaret's. I'm still taking the Raiders.
Here's my scenario, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again and again. They're going to end up getting Travis Hunter, maybe the overall number 1 pick. And then Shador's going to drop down a little bit. They're going to get him. And guess who's going to be the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders?
Me. I'd love that job.
You're the second choice.
Can I take care of the Raiderettes?
Yeah, Mark Davis said, if it wasn't for Dion, maybe I'd tell you.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Or maybe he ends up in Dallas with his son.
I don't know. The Raiders have
a lot of money, man. To Dak, trade that money away. Dak is never going to win a Super Bowl.
No, he's had his window of opportunity. It's not the people around him. It's not his defense. It's not Mike. It's not the offensive coordinator. It's Dak Prescott. He can't get the job done.
Washington getting 2.5 against Chicago. Who do you like? Caleb Williams.
Oh, Chicago. Caleb Williams. I mean, he is on the rise. He's a smart kid. And you want a smart, cerebral quarterback. This is the NFL. They're faster. They're stronger. The defenses are much more complicated. This kid is finally figuring it out. Where's he going to be in year 4, 5, and 6?
Well, and Daniels is pretty good too, but he's got the banged up ribs. I don't even know if he's going to go. Denver getting 10 against Carolina. Andy Dalton's out. Bryce Young back. Andy's in the car wreck, strains his thumb. So Bryce Young, they're also saying he could be on the trading block. What do you think about that game? Denver with Bo Nix against Carolina. Carolina spotting Denver 10, believe it or not.
10
in this football game.
Are we going on spread or pure win here?
Either way. Okay, sounds good. You're going with that means Denver. Dallas getting 4 against Frisco. Their season.
Frisco.
This game.
Frisco.
Both of their teams.
You're about to see. Oh, the Cowgirls are done. You're about to see San Francisco look in the mirror and do a reflection and go, we're better than this. We are better than this. I don't care if Ioke went down or not. We are better than this. If Cooper Kupp goes anywhere, He's going to San Francisco.
All right, 10 tractor trailer trucks have just left Pittsburgh for the Meadowlands with Iron City because the Giants are hosting the Steelers Monday night, and they're spotting the Giants, the Steelers 6.5. Giants are pitiful right now. And if you're Daniel Jones, you got to be thinking,
oh, he's terrified.
Get me a real estate agent.
Daniel Jones is the quarterback. They yanked him last week in the fourth quarter against the Eagles. This is a 2-5 team. You look at who they've lost to, it's the Vikings by a huge margin, 28-3, I think. The Eagles, 28-14, whatever it was. They're exactly what they are.
Okay.
As Denny Green said, we are is what we are, or they are is. No, unless, and I'm going to throw this in there, and you Steeler fans know this, your head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, has a way of dumping games he should win. The Cleveland Clowns came in here in the playoffs.
Makes me a little nervous.
The Jaguars and Blake Bortles and his 100 yards and Leonard Fournette beat you when you should have beat them. Now, with that said, this is a Monday night game, and Mike Tomlin is 20-3 on Monday night. He loves the camera on him. He loves the big stage. Look for this team. Look for, you know who's going to have a big game?
Who?
Terrell Austin, your defensive coordinator. He sees what he has. He's got some nice pieces.
They're going to blitz Daniel.
Oh, they're going to hurt him. Hey, I want to say something about the blitz.
Okay.
Hold on here.
I have to go to work.
I know you do. Listen to me. Okay, a lot of people say this all the time about TJ Watt, and last week especially. They're triple teaming him. They're double teaming him. We know what that does to the other edge rusher. You look at Bud Dupree. Bud had a great career. Love Bud Dupree. He went on, got a big contract with Tennessee. Now, Alex Highsmith and Herbert, right? It opens it up for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you don't know is this. What it really opens up, when that back has to go and look for TJ and two on him, this opens up Blitzberg.
Right.
Blitzberg. Go ahead and start worrying about him. Now you got to worry about Highsmith. I'll send that free safety. I'll talk to anybody right now. I'm going to talk to the lady over here.
Sit down here.
You send that free safety. Listen, lady, you put that free safety right up the A-gap between the center, between the guard, and you're going to, hey, Daniel, she knows, she understands it all. Daniel Jones, that kid, go to church, pray for him, because a kid is going to get jacked up on Monday Night Football. We're going to have a party down at the river.
50 years ago.
What Phil Bork say? Let's take the cup down the river and drink all summer.
50 years ago,
Winner.
The Steelers celebrated that great championship. And you remember when they were tailgating and enjoying Jimmy Paul, the great song. Wait, you're going to sing that. I'm going to go work the camera.
We're from the town with the great football team. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Big thanks, Randy.
We got Franco and Rocky and Gorillas.